Welcome back to the Anime Degens episode, bullshit hour edition with our friends today. I got Jack, Jamaal, and Edwin joining me today. We're gonna do something pretty fun. You know, usually this time, this episode, I usually kind of do solo for the most part. But I hit up Jamal the other day and I was like, "Yo, if you want to, if you ain't got nothing else to do, I will be recording on this week, and you can join me if you want to." And it turns out I got lucky enough to have all three join me, so which is
Mhm.
really cool. So I didn't think I would get that lucky, honestly, because it's so hard to like nail down all of our schedules at the same time. But
The more the
welcome
merrier.
back. Yeah, yeah. Especially stuff like this, I don't mind doing solo episodes. It's just, it's a whole lot funner, when you got other people coming on or whatever, so and talking with you. But yeah, I'm glad y'all come back so soon. I know I was just over there for the winter
Yeah,
review, I think it
winter
was.
review.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
Yep.
he was only there for like 7 hours.
yeah, little something light, you know what I mean? We didn't go too hard, you know what I mean?
Nah.
We
But
covered everything.
we
Yeah.
literally covered there. Like
Everything.
I'm pretty sure most of our list was different. Like there's only a couple of shows that was the same on our list. It's good. It's good to have everyone back. Today we're going to be talking about basically spring first impressions, kinda, but in a different way. What I usually like to do when I have people on with me and I'm not doing a solo episode, I like doing like the talking about our must watches of spring. But when I say must watches, I don't actually mean our top shows of the season. We're having a little fun this time, and we're picking shows that we think that people should check out for whatever reasons that we like them. We'll talk about it. But basically, I just wanted people to know that just because we pick these shows that we're fixing to talk about, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're our favorite shows of this season. It just means that we think people should check them out. That they're fun or good for whatever reasons. So just keep that in mind because I think that people is going to be a little bit surprised with some of them. So, also, there might be some slight spoilers for the first few episodes of the shows that we're going to talk about in this episode. Since this is a first impressions type of show, still, y'all know how it goes. We do touch on the first couple episodes, like I said. I also want to mention that I'm going to do another video and release a part two, basically talking about like all the other shows that I'm watching this spring, since we're only gonna get to touch on like um, you know just a handful, but I'm watching close to 20 shows, so I'm gonna talk about the rest of them on another episode that I'm gonna do solo. So like I said, be on the lookout for that for a part two in the next couple of days. But yeah, if y'all want to get right into it, let's go ahead and get Edwin. You want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I'll go. I'm liking Kill Blue.
Kill
Um,
Blue.
it's a new show. It's about an assassin who gets transformed back into a teenager, and then he's got to go to school. Uh, I'm loving this one. You get kind of like you get your anime fix with like the school. The school. He's like the school plot threads. You get like the tsundere that he's got to protect slash date slash who knows what's going on. But I like the art style. It's very Ben 10. It's kind of like like 2000s cartoon style. A lot of vibrant colors. The fight scenes are actually really cool too. It's kind of like a little John Wick in there, where like he's like improvising, and like he's been at this a long time. But there's a lot of other stuff too, where like he loves studying. He's like, I get to study. It's like because this dude has pretty much devoted most of his life to his job. So now, as a teenager, everybody's kind of looking at him weird, like, you like studying? And it's cool because you get kind of like this odd couple thing going on, where he is like the kind of odd couple, where you get him trying to be a teenager, but with kind of like a fish out of water. Him trying to be a teenager, but with like all of these ideas of an older man. He's like a little misogynistic, and so they're like, dude, no. Like at some point in the first 3 episodes, he joins he joins the home ec club, and he's like, "Oh, that's for girls," and his assistant is like, "Whoa, dude, you got to stow that, man. We don't think like that anymore. We don't talk like that anymore." And so that's really funny to watch. It's like it's really I wouldn't say slapstick, but the humor's definitely the action's there, the humor's there, and it looks really good. I'm liking, and this is comparable to it's not as well done as Marriage. It's not as polished as Marriage Toxin, which is another kind of like in the same vein of assassin shows. But I think this one does it really well. And if you like something that's a little less serious than Marriage Toxin, that doesn't take itself as seriously, I think that you'll really like this one.
So is this like, would you say this is more like focused on the comedy, like the humor aspects and like slice of lifey, or do you think this is like, more like Sakamoto Daisy, like action-y bullshit, stuff like that?
I think the focus is definitely more on the slice of life and humor, but I think it manages to strike a good balance, and it's not just for the jokes. There's enough. The characters are developed enough where you want it, like, you're not walking away where like this is you're not. It's not empty calories.
Okay.
It's not just popcorn. It's a little bit deeper. It's got a little bit more substance than that, which is one of the reasons that I'm recommending this like over Marriage Toxin or other shows, because I feel like while it's still great for the casual viewer, and one of the great things about this is it's available on 3 different platforms. You can watch this on Crunchyroll, you can
Yeah.
watch this on Netflix, and you can watch this on Prime. So it's really accessible. So like if anybody wants to watch this,
Hmm.
it's not that hard to find.
And
Okay. It's
I think the first 2 episodes are on YouTube too on that it's anime channel.
Okay,
yeah,
I
perfect.
saw
the
Yeah.
Remao or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Is anyone else watching this besides Edwin?
No, but it's kind of like a fascinating thing because I believe there's another assassin show. I'm trying to think like for some type of like well, I know there are Death Games ones, but I was double checking because I'm now looking at the official top 10 of week 3 of the Anime Corner,
Mhm.
and Marriage Toxin is a number 8. We were discussing before recording that should be a top 10. Like, yeah, perfectly
Yeah,
placed.
I agree.
But Blue Box sounds like it should be climbing up sooner than later. But
It's
yeah, it's
it's
just one of those
Kill
things.
Blue. Kill Blue. It's called Kill Blue.
Oh, Kill
Yeah,
Blue. My
Yeah, Kill
mistake.
Blue. Yeah, yeah.
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 yeah. I don't know. I haven't. If there is, I haven't seen it. I've missed it, and that's kind of hard for me to believe because I've tried to watch everything that's come out this season. Yeah, I've checked out like over 40 shows, at least the first episode. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
So
I
yeah.
can't do it, but
I'm usually slow, but this is the first time I could think of where I actually did touch at least 25. But the thing is that like what I've been doing lately is finishing half seas. Like Ascendance has been annoying of a season, so I'm like, okay, I'll watch at least half of it, then I'll check out this show, kind of thing. So it's a color board, man.
okay. So this season's got Jack intrigued.
Mm.
I like that.
There's
Are you
there's
watching
enough
this,
out there. Yeah.
Jamal?
I am not watching Kill Blue. So
Okay.
like it was like I was like, I'm not watching 2 of these type of shows. I'm either going to watch Kill Blue or Marriage Toxin,
Marriage Toxin, yeah.
and I went with Marriage Toxin. You know,
See, I
you
No
didn't
know,
choice
even
Kill
like.
is
Blue.
wrong.
I seen Kill Blue. I don't think we even talked about it in the preview, but
I don't think so.
No,
yeah, I don't think we did, but I seen it, and I was like, huh, like this doesn't seem like something I would probably watch, but I see like, people are enjoying it. It's got like 7.57 on Mal or whatever, which is pretty high for a show like this.
That's pretty.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think I want to say Marriage Toxin is like right there too. But but the thing is like I'm kind of like you too. Like if I'm gonna watch one, like I probably couldn't watch both of them. You know what I mean? And
Uh,
I'm wanting to watch at least try Marriage Talks, and I don't know how I'm gonna like it, but I want to at least try it. And see if it's my style of humor and like type of show. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like some of these things. Like if they get too Sakamoto-y or Mashal-y, like they're okay for a while, but then I kind of fall off. But like Spy Family, on the other
Mhm.
hand, I really like Spy Family because it's got like different aspects, included. And so that's why I kind of wanted to check out Marriage Talks, and I just don't know if I could watch like two of them, two of the same sort of like show or whatever. So even if they
Mhm.
ain't the same, it's pretty similar.
I'll say
Yeah.
that they're not. They both center around an assassin character.
Yeah.
But I think that they're one. Well, Marriage Toxin, and I like both of them. Marriage Toxin is more action orientated. Like that's
Okay.
definitely you definitely have more action, and it's played pretty straightforward. There's some humor in there, but it's pretty much an action. It's an action anime with a little side, like they'll have absurd humor in it where it's like Jesus, but it's very different tonally and than Kill Blue. Kill Blue is more like a hybrid of a slice of life, kind of like, so the focus there is the slice of life, and that's where a lot of the humor, like that fish out of water, that's where the humor comes from, and neither of them I'll say are similar to Sakamoto Days. I think Sakamoto Days it's like it's a little it's hard to explain, but I don't think if you watch either one of them, you're not going to pick up that vibe. I didn't pick up that vibe from either one of them.
Yeah, I just don't really, unless it's like super funny, I don't really care for something that's like too unbelievable, like in
Mhm.
action sense. So if you had to like recommend one of them to me, would you think that I would like Kill Blue better instead of Marriage Toxin? Since it does have a
Um,
slice of life, stuff going on more.
I think you'd like if you want something that's a little bit more grounded. I would say Kill Blue, because there are times in Marriage Toxin where I'm like, No, just no. When it comes to the action, there's moments where I'm like, okay, like how did he pull that off?
It
Like
gets
Well,
they
Spy
maybe
it
with
the
Family,
action gets a bit
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
yeah,
Well, like I said, Spy Family does too, but like it has other things pulling me in. It's like okay, whatever. Anya's here, it's fine. Whatever. But
yeah. Well,
No,
with
this
with
this this
with
dude
Spy
this dude with the
Family,
poison is crazy. This dude with the
yeah,
poison does stuff
yep,
that's just incredible.
yep,
That last episode, I was like, "Oh, come on!" Like, how did
yeah.
he pull?
It's
How
like,
did?
okay, how did he become Superman all of a sudden? It's like, dude, yeah. Though, and this is, uh, what's the name of the shark? Because that just cracked me up. Uh, oh my
Oh
god,
man,
was it? There's a shark named Kafka, or no? Clint, or it's just
Yeah.
there's
Or
this,
I don't remember. I don't remember, but
there's
I
a
know what
there's
you're
a
talking about.
bit, yeah, there's a bit with a shark that just cracks me up, and this show's insane. But it's a lot of fun. They're both a lot of fun. Yeah.
okay.
It's
They
it
Wait.
is crazy. But
yeah,
Marriage
his
Toxin,
sidekick.
from what I would say, the romance aspect is kind of like the humor of the show.
Yeah,
That's kind of where all the humor lies.
yeah.
Well, it don't even have like a romance tag, so I would assume that it wouldn't be like a serious thing. You know what I mean?
Which is
Serious like
absolutely
relationship.
insane. I don't
Is
know
not.
why it doesn't have a romance tag, because literally the whole plot of the show is
Is
he
their
has
relationship, right?
he has a
Yeah.
cross-dressing con artist essentially playing his like for hire wingman, which
It's
sounds
his
insane just on the face of that.
matchmaker,
Yeah.
his matchmaking wingman
Yeah.
because he's like a marriage fraud. He's like marriage fraud, and so the assassin, if he doesn't get married, then his sister's going to be forced to get married and have
Oh.
babies with to for because that's what the clan does. And
Yeah.
since he as is the brother as the older brother doesn't want to do it, it falls on the sister. And so to stop his sister from doing that because she doesn't want to do it, he wants to hurry up and get married. So that's where the romance thing is. But like you said,
Yeah.
that's where the humor of the show is 100% focused on the romance and this
But you
crazy
gotta
cross-dressing matchmaker.
well, it's important to one of the important things is that she's a lesbian. She's in love with a woman and she
Yes,
doesn't want to get
yeah,
married, have
that's
kids.
right. Yes.
Um, she doesn't want to, like that's not something that she wants to do with her life. And so as her brother, he's kind of like saying, don't worry about it. I'll find somebody. And so
Mm.
that's the whole show. The whole point of the show isn't that, like with Kill Blue, I mean, it's kind of just okay, they just happen to be assassins. It's like, but this is like what the story is about. It's not really about him going on jobs to, him being hired to kill people. It's him trying to find a girlfriend, to marry. And so that, yeah. I mean, Tyler, I mean, that I know you like romances, so that might be perfect for you. I mean, both of them have like a romantic aspect. I think with Kill Blue, it's not like the main thing of the story, but that's where, as a slice of life, as a high school slice of life too, I think that's where it'll end up. But with Marriage Toxin, I mean, and it's kind of like in the title, so I don't know why they wouldn't list it as a romance.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
either, because I assume like that would be like one of the main like themes, I guess. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say genres, but like because
Well,
like
kind
we know
of
what
like
the genre is,
yeah,
right?
kind of
So
like a sophisticated Hitman show. The one
yeah.
that Jamal really likes, the Fable, for example.
Oh yeah, Fable. Yeah, okay.
Fable
Yeah,
was good.
Yeah.
Fable's coming back.
yeah, and Gargoyle 13. That's a very older one. That's like a classic anime Hitman one. City Hunter, of course. If it falls in that threshold, that's pretty rare. It's becoming more of a very rare genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually action junkies will like it too.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
I think what I'm gonna do for this though, because I did want like I definitely want to try out marriage toxin, but you've kind of like got me interested in like Kill Blue too. I might not be able to do both of them this season, but I feel like they're both like whichever one I choose, I feel like the other one is probably
yeah.
gonna go on a plan to watch and
I
watch it
would personally say,
later.
I would
So
personally
Yeah.
say, uh, Tyler, the first episode of Marriage Toxin, that's a movie. I think you will
okay.
enjoy it. Trust me. Trust
Well,
me.
what I was gonna do is I was gonna watch the first episode of each and figure out which one I like vibe
Hmm.
with more. You know what I mean? So, but
Marriage
yeah,
Toxin or Anime 21 Jump Street.
Well,
is that basically what Kill Blue is?
that's what Jamal's calling
Yeah.
it. It's not, but that's what he's calling it.
Where's Channing Tatum at, bro?
No.
Making another Gambit movie that's not going to come out.
But yeah,
Although
okay,
he's
yeah,
probably recording the next Demon Slayer movie, right?
true, yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
might be in there. He might get a part in that. So,
Yes.
but
So
yeah,
weird.
all right. Kill Blue. You made a pretty good solid pitch for that. You have anybody else have anything to add on to Kill Blue?
I
Nope.
don't know.
No. Alrighty.
Okay.
Who wants to go second? Anybody?
I'll go second.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
Let's see what
Okay.
Jack's got. I'm interested.
Well,
Me too.
here's the thing. So, since doing 950, one thing I've noticed about my slice of life repertoire, it keeps on evolving, it keeps on growing, just as it should. But I'm starting to like kind of teeter with the surreal slice of life. Like that's becoming like its own separate category. Like Mr. Villain's Day Off, Taco Elf, uh, Depressed Cat, Masterful Cat Suppressing, Mushroom Pup. This one is this one is pretty up there. He's up there with Mr. Villain's Day Off, and that is Kojima.
Okay. So I haven't gotten to watch this, but
this is the one you talked
we
about in the preview.
the
Yes, yes.
Warble or whatever, the
Yeah.
penguin looking thing. Yeah, we
Mhm.
talked about it.
The
So
official title, Kojima, Why Sing When You Can Warble.
yeah.
And
Oh.
yeah.
Let us know about it, Jack, because I haven't
Yes,
watched
please
it.
tell me.
They probably haven't watched it either. So
Okay, where to begin?
No, not at
So
all.
I've seen the trailer for this.
Huh?
I've seen the trailer for this. It looks kind of wild. They've just got this random bird living in their house. Like he's like I'm like, yeah, okay, Jack. This would be a Jack show. Let's
Yeah.
hear it, man.
okay.
Yeah.
So we let me get the say the characters.
I
Okay,
knew
so
when he started naming all them shows, I was like, it's probably
Yep.
gonna be
I
Kojima.
knew it. I knew it
Yeah.
too. I knew it too because he went down his slice of life list that Edwin and I have heard 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like I said, Emmer is stating it like these are like its own separate category. I get it. With You and Rain
Yeah.
technically is in that camp too. Technically, if you think about it, but you know, with this one, it's just as surreal, even more like what the fuck, even more than Mr. Villain's Day Off. And so this bird, it's lost. It originally came from Russia, and so this a student named Koda, you know, he's kind of like a loafer. He's kind of like he's doing his own thing. He has a best girl next door, best friend named Makoto, and he he notices the bird, and the bird pretty much tells his whole story and spiel. Mind you, it speaks in perfect Japanese, like cute little speaks in Japanese, but
Of
in the
course.
story context, it's Russian. So it's figuring out how to speak Japanese. So he decides to harbor Kojima in his household, you know, on a whim. And mind you, this bird looks like a still. I was looking for the exact type of bird, but it's a combination of penguin, stilt, crane. It's everything. It's its own monster.
It's kind of scary, honestly. Sometimes, like if you
Yeah.
catch it in like the right, like still like the right picture or whatever, it
Mhm.
looks kind of freaky.
Well,
So
that's the thing. There was an episode
yeah.
that was dedicated to that because I didn't really think that. It's super goofy, especially with the voice acting. But sure enough, there's an episode where it's confused as a water monster essentially, and that's a good half of the show episode there. But how it's paced is methodical. It's very like stopping and going, stopping and going, stopping and going. It's not zany. It's fucking weird, but it's not. It's not zany. You would think it would be like Kill la Kill or even like Isaacan. Nope. It's straight up like we're going to live in this family. I'm going to be living here for 6 months until winter's cleared in Russia, because the person that found Kojima, he lives over there, and he used to take Kojima as a baby bird thing to the ballet and stuff. So it's got a lot of Russian etiquette and Russian logic and swell. Well, like I said, it's a leap of faith. It speaks Japanese, but it's learning Japanese on the fly, so it can talk to more people. And the family has this weird code where they have to hide Kojima and stuff. It's a lot, but how I'm saying it is because when you watch it, there's the dialogue back and forth is very like monotone. It's a goofy voice. It kind of has like a it definitely has a Russian flair. Like I can't do the impression of it for the best of me. It's that
It,
distinct.
no, monotone would work because that would be very Russian, like
Yeah.
you know. So that would work. But essentially, what you're saying is that it's a foreign exchange student show where the foreign exchange student just happens to be a bird who was taken in and raised by Russians instead of wolves. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's like he knows the opera and he knows all of these. He knows how to speak Russian, and it's like, dude, this is weird.
yeah. And it's his own bird kind. You find that out, and it's inching. That's what I'm trying to sell with this. It's an inching show where the explores family dynamics, and one of the key characters is the brother that lives at home, who's a shut-in, essentially hikikomori, because he failed out of med school, and it's an outlet valve. This character is an outlet valve, so it's an interesting. Mind you, there's only 3 episodes out. They still only have the location at the neighborhood. Like this is a show that should like travel. Just go to even though it's set in the countryside, like go to the cities. Just do something because it'll be interesting seeing Kojima in the city life. But
I feel like you almost have to with a story like this. Is like especially when the thing wants to like connect with other people, you almost kind of gotta get out there. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like nobody like people will like if it happened in real life, people would be freaked out. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, but it's a very cordial, human shaped bird, and yeah, it's a hidden gem. It's definitely doesn't deserve top 10. Like if top 25, that'd be a stretch too. But what I like about it is that slice of life is at play and emphasizes even more because our ongoing discussion of the genre itself, how romance and comedy pretty much overtake it, and yeah, there's elements with that with this one, of course, but it's something about because there's this key sequence in one of the episodes where Kojima's just hanging out on the river, and that's a good like 5-minute meditative sequence. You don't think about the time while watching the show. I was telling you guys that it's an energy booster show. It really is a mood changing show because the last episode I saw, I was having a really bad day at work, and there was this big exchange he had with his brother. It just cracked me up. And this brother is a really good character. He's very sassy and very shut-in-y. So
Okay, yeah. I definitely plan on checking it and like watching it. So
at least watch it for the tone. At least watch it for like just for the voice acting alone. Voice acting is very distinct and very fun.
Well, I knew I was one of this was one of the shows that I had like on my list coming into the season. I just haven't got a chance to check it out yet. I honestly didn't figure anybody else would check it out. So I was surprised to hear that this was on your list. So I ain't gonna lie. But I like it. I like it.
I knew it was on his list. Because before, like a couple days ago at work, I listened to the preview again, and this was one that he brought up during the preview.
Okay.
And
I couldn't remember if I did or he did. I know I had it on my list too. So
Jack brought it up.
I got you. Well, I love that. Have you ever watched Red Cat Ramen, Jack?
Oh no.
You probably would enjoy it. It's about like a ramen shop run by cats. It's really cool. So they hire like a human to help them out, like to kind of do the dishes because they have paws and stuff, and they also like have her like brush their hair that way they don't get like they got like have like a brushing like every so often so they don't get hair in the food, and like it's pretty cool. I feel like you would enjoy that a lot. So
I'll check that.
That sounds interesting, actually.
Yeah, it was one of my like underrated shows of like I don't know. It was like 2024 probably. But it has Saori Hayami in it.
I knew it.
She's like the Bengal tiger. It also has the dude that played Nanami in JJK. He plays one of the cats. Like it is pretty cool. So
if he mentions the show, I know she's gonna be in there somewhere.
Mama Yor.
He said, "Have you heard?" I know why he's mentioning this.
Yeah,
she needs to put you on the payroll, man, because you're like her marketing director.
I mean,
Promotion.
I can't help it. She's a legend.
Promotional directing,
She's
yep.
good at what she does. So, but yeah, that's cool. I wish I would have got to watch a couple episodes of it. I'm pretty sure it's on Crunchyroll, but I didn't get to. So, unfortunately.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you have anything else to talk about that, Jack?
Oh no, that'll be it.
Okay.
What will be next?
I mean, I guess I can go next.
Go ahead.
With one of mine, I'm gonna do. Let's see. I got a bunch here. Since we're all going like you know, lesser like hidden gem type things. You know what I mean? Like less popular shows. I hate doing this, but I'm gonna do it because I feel like people should watch this just because of how bullshitty it is. And that's my ridiculous
I knew
reincarnation.
you was gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say. It's
Tyler,
in my
man,
notes.
that show is
It's
off the
in.
wall
It's
crazy.
in my notes.
Yep.
It's in my notes.
Don't get me wrong. This is not going to be anywhere close to my top 10 of this season, or it's probably going to be like probably the bottom of my list. But it doesn't matter because this show is honestly good, but not good. Like it's trash, but it's good trash.
It's good trash. It's good
It's
trash.
trash that has no right to be as good as it is. I mean,
Exactly.
just that first episode, like when they switched up the animation style to tell that story about the ribs, I was cracking up because I'm like, this is hilarious. But second, I'm like, oh, cool. So every time he goes to another world, they're gonna do a different art style. So it's gonna keep you visually interested. Now, the guy and the goddess are just like trash tier characters from like
Yes.
and like multiple isekai.
That's
But
where the
like, yeah,
show gets trash. Like
yeah,
everything about them is just like horrible, tropey trash. Like,
yep, and they do it up, and they do it
yeah.
up. They do it well. Yep, they deliver.
Yeah, I think like so like they know kind of what they're doing, you know, like I feel like they're very self-aware of like what the show is and stuff, which makes it even
Mhm.
funnier because like they literally like take like a bunch of shit that's like in a bunch of other isekais and it's like, oh, let's dog on this for a little bit, whatever. It kind of reminds me of like Uncle from Another World in a way.
Like
Because like, you know,
deconstructive.
well, his, you know, they watched like his adventures on the TV, and that's kind of what they're doing. It's like a reverse isekai kind of,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Um, so like I like that part. Like I didn't think it was gonna like do that. Like I thought we was actually gonna like follow him to the world and like see it as it was happening, and not like watch it on the TV when he gets back to the goddess, which is, you know, kind of genius in its own way, you know, because it opens up a lot of humorous dialogue and stuff between the goddess and I I'm pretty sure the dude don't even have a name. I'm pretty sure he's just, you know, main character.
He doesn't need a
So
name for this. He
yeah.
doesn't need a name for this to work. And I like the TV aspect because then you don't get bogged down in the
You don't get bored. You don't like it
no,
doesn't
yeah,
like you start like I think it would be too much if you started getting thrown into all these different like worlds and stuff because
yeah.
they do like two or three an episode, you know, and I feel like that's a lot, but they keep it very short and
Well,
simple
it's
and to
like
the point. So
yeah, it's like Mystery Science 3000 theater, but for isekai.
yeah.
That's the best way I could describe it to people because essentially the guy and the goddess are essentially like, you know, going through like and making fun of like what just happened to him, and like that's where the fun is. It's like you don't have to watch that isekai. You can just watch them ragging on it, and that's where the fun comes in because you're like, oh, I know these tropes and this is how they're playing it out. But like visually, it's kind of amazing because you do get those different animation styles, and like you said, it does. You don't get bored, because it's like they're always switching it up.
And I feel like I feel like that they found like the perfect voice actor for the dude because like he embodies the like weird creepy otaku that's like
He
locked
does.
in on, just being too much, you know what I mean? I feel like they found somebody that can like replicate that and, just make you believe that he is that person, you know what I mean?
Well,
So,
yeah, the things that he wants from being from a reincarnation, it's like are the same kind of like Rudy-esque, kind of like, oh, this is what I want from my reincarnation, to be the hero, to be worshipped by the women, blah blah this, blah blah that,
to
and
have a happy
he
ending,
yep.
Mhm.
Oh
whatever that means.
no.
And
Yeah,
she's always like, "We're not doing that. I'm not giving you that
yeah, yeah.
one."
Yeah, she's grossed out by how skeevy he can be. Yeah,
Yeah,
but she's
and then
also
she'll do,
like,
and then she'll do something like burn him to bits, and he's just like, ah! And she's just like, just let him hit it for a minute. Then like, all right, I'll bring it back. You entertain me.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Also, like the goddess, like being like so like straight, like very serious, very like very opposite. Like it just makes it a whole lot funnier, in my opinion. I didn't think the show like I almost didn't watch this, and I would have regretted it to be honest with you. Even though
Yeah.
like it's probably gonna end up like a 6 or something like that, but it doesn't matter. It's kind of like in the same vein as like vending machine. Like you know, one season is good enough for me. Just to watch how ridiculous it is. Like it's interesting too. So like it's fun to see what ideals are thought up in like an anime like this. I feel like you have to watch this just to experience it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, but
But it's good
yeah,
yeah, it's good that you brought it up, Tyler, because I definitely think this is one of those shows that's going to fly underneath the radar for a lot of people. They're like going to be like, "What is this?" But yeah, if you want something funny that's like got that isekai structure to it, where it's like you can say, "Oh, it's not it's an isekai, but it's really just a comedy. It's a comedy show that showcases
Mhm.
different art styles and like it's pretty zany. So you can walk in there. Even people who don't like isekai, I think could enjoy this.
hmm
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
I,
people
yes,
I'm
that
not I'm
don't
not a
like
super big
isekai would
fan of
enjoy it
isekai.
more.
So,
Yeah.
huh?
I
Yeah,
think I think because people I think if you're somebody that doesn't like isekai, you'll enjoy this even more
yeah,
because
because
how
it's
it's
well, yeah.
making
making
fun
fun
of
of the
it.
genre. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you hate isekai, this is the show for you.
Mhm.
Also, like you're talking about like the animation styles or whatever. For like so when they did like the whole like flip book thing with the white gloves or whatever, and like even like in the latest episode, I'm pretty sure they had like a dude in like a black suit or whatever, like moving stuff around on the screen or some shit,
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
could see him. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
Mhm.
in any other show that's considered like lazy like production or whatever, right? Like
Mhm.
very bad lazy production. But in this show, it works because of
Yep.
what it is.
yeah,
It's almost genius. It's almost genius to put that in there like that because it works. It fits. Like it makes it feel different. It's interesting. So it like you can't do that with any show. You can only do that with some shows, and this show you can't do that with. So I'm excited to see like what kind of stupid production decisions that they decide to do in the future. Because like they're gonna do some stupid shit. and I'm gonna love it. So,
Well, this is a show, like on the face of it, you could just toss it away as like a shitty comedy. Oh, this is just a shit comedy. But
Mm,
it's not, because you can tell that these people, they know the subject matter. Uh, Not only that, it's self-aware, and you can tell that these people love animation. And
mhm,
animation is kind of like their subject matter. It's kind of like their material. They're making you laugh, but it's through their understanding of different of understanding and appreciation of different art styles, and like different ways to produce, like, media or entertainment.
hmm
And so that makes it a much deeper, it's a lot deeper than just, like a comedy showcase. And I think that, like, that's why I'm really glad that you brought this up and said it's one of your must watches, because I think a lot of people would have missed that otherwise.
yeah, like I said, it's not good. It's not good,
No.
but like
mm,
it's not a good anime, but it
No.
is good. It's funny,
Yeah.
So like, even though it is must watch, I would be perfectly understanding if someone said, "No, I ain't watching that shit." It's probably got like a 5 on Mal.
right.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. Uh, but I'm just saying, you're missing out on some of the stupidest shit you ever seen.
Yep.
So, like, where else are you gonna find I think it was a tomato, that became the hero and defeated the Demon King? Where are you gonna find that at? Where are you gonna find a
A rib.
Mm.
crab? Where are you gonna find a door? Like,
A
where are you
rib.
gonna find that
He was
at?
a rib. He was a
The
how
the second hand on the clock.
Where you gonna where you gonna
yeah.
find that at?
Nope.
So,
Yeah.
Six
uh,
6.41 on Mal.
it's higher than I would expect it. So, like, I got it at 6 right now. I ain't gonna lie. So it has potential to be a
Yeah,
7.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I
And that's
don't.
perfectly fine. It's
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
I watched
yeah.
it. I was entertained by it. I'll probably never go back to it, but I don't regret watching it.
No, it's funny because like every week, I come to Discord and I come to our Discord and me and Dan just shit on it. Because Dan's watching it too, and I'm just like, yes, Dad, you get it. You get the reason why we're watching this bullshit. It's just
You know what?
funny. So,
It would have
Yeah.
been a fun rundown show. It would have been a
man,
fun rundown show.
it, man, I couldn't imagine, bro.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine even trying to talk about this shit. It would be interesting. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's something that, like you said, it's like a 6, but at the end of the year, when we're looking back on like the comedy shows of the year,
just gonna be
it'll
like,
be
damn,
in
they
there.
done something different.
Yeah, it's gonna be in there. So yeah,
Yeah,
in that regard, he did his job for sure.
but that's all I
Um,
got for that one. I call it the Ribsakai.
Ribs are kind of good.
So yeah.
Anything with ribs is always good with me. Uh,
Yo, I just saw a post. Shake Shack, they have a new McRib, or their take on the
a
McRib
boneless
sandwich.
rib sandwich. Yeah, I saw that.
You think that'll be all right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
haven't been at Shake Shack in forever.
I don't think Edwin will approve of that.
No.
He's
The
not gonna
McRib.
leave the big
The
rib
McRib
alone.
stands alone. Okay. The McRib stands alone.
Man,
Don't you?
that's a strong.
Imitators will
It is a strong bond. Not gonna lie.
imitators will not be accepted. No.
No, he's not gonna. He's not having that. He's not having
No.
that. I saw that today too, Jack. That's funny. Um. Well, we were doing first impressions, and so I kind of went in the direction of. I went back and I was like, okay, this was my banger bust show. So since we're doing first impressions, I guess I got to talk about my banger bust. And the banger bust show that I had was Liar's Game.
There you go.
Okay.
And you know what? I don't know.
It's still
I've
early.
heard
I,
like very bad
I
things
don't
about Liar's Game. I ain't gonna
I
lie.
don't know. Okay, so the
It
bad
walks
thing,
a, Mhm.
100% of I can promise you the bad thing is 100% the main girl. That's everybody's cause for the bad thing. But shout out, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to shout out to friend of the show Rochelle May because she's going to be the dub voice of now. So like shout out to her. I'm happy you got like a leading role. But that character is bringing a show for a lot of people. Because aside from that character, the show's fine. Um, she should. They say early on. They say early on that she is stupidly honest, and they use that heavily, very heavily, and they lean on her being stupidly honest to allow her to make some bad decisions, which progresses the game and the plot. And I think that's where the bad comes in at. Um, but anyways, it's this girl, she receives a box with however much money is in there, 10 million yen or something.
It's 100
A hundred,
million.
no, 100 million, 100 million
Mhm.
yen. 100 million yen. And she's like, oh, great. But it's like, all right, you're now part of the liar game. So you have to play this game, and you have to
Steal your opponent's money.
if you steal your opponent's money, you get to keep it essentially
Mm.
because you have to pay back the 100,000, the 100,000, the 100 million that you have. But if you take their 100 million, you can keep the 100 million. So she's stupidly honest. So in the beginning, it turns out that she's going up against one of her old teachers, and just convinces her to give him her briefcase full of money to hold until the end
Okay.
because she's stupidly honest. So now the whole thing is to like her to get it back from this guy. And so there's this dude that took the he was like a con man and took down some like major corporations. He conned them. But he was like an ethical con man, right? Kind of like you know how you have ethical hackers out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he expose a bunch of stuff that they were doing or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He exposed a bunch of stuff, and so she goes to this lawyer to like, hey, and he's like, well, I don't know if this is legally binding, but if you got to con somebody, maybe you should like talk to a con man. This obviously sketchy lawyer. And so she's like, okay. So this dude, this ethical con man, just gets out of jail, and she's like, all right, I'm going to talk to him and harass him until he helps me. And he ends up helping her out. And the little schemes that he does, that's interesting, and that you could buy into this, and this is where like the psychological thriller stuff comes in at, because he's like, all right, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna watch him, so he's being watched, and he's like, it's gonna take a psychological toll on him, and he's gonna start going, and you start to see the character do that, and you're like, okay, this is interesting, I like this part. But then she goes and does something that's again stupidly honest, and it's just, she's a very frustrating character because she's stupidly honest, and they lean on that weight. That's the term that they use, and they say it repeatedly about her. They say it repeatedly, so they're beating this idea into your head, and that's the only thing that's just like, fix this character. She's the
I
only
mean,
bad part. I know Edwin's going to advocate for her a bit, and I want you to. Out of
I'm gonna
respect
I'm
for
gonna
our friend Michelle.
I'm gonna advocate for her in that like she's just a really emotional, illogical character. They might call it stupidly honest, but she's emotionally reactive. She's almost childlike.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. And so she
Even though
and
she's
because
like 20, she's like 24, I think. So she's in her 20s at least.
yeah, but she
Definitely in
acts
her
more like
20s.
she acts like an underdeveloped 12-year-old.
Yes, yes.
Mentally and emotionally, like the way she reacts, like she freaks out, she panics. What am I gonna
Mhm.
do? And like and this guy's coming to her rescue and stuff. Um, I like the show, and I like the show for the aspects that the way Jamaal was, the things that the topics that Jamaal brought up, the psychological aspects, the con man. Um, I'm not. I'm liking the show, and I'm actually watching each episode. This isn't what I usually watch, but I usually I would be like, okay, I'm not watching this show because I have no interest in this. But I do like the con man character, and
Yeah.
I like the things that they set up for them. The liar's game. It's like, all right, how is this going to play out? And so I'll keep watching it for that. Like, she's just there to kind of move the story along. Like her personality, all the character aspects about her are kind of like if she didn't have those characteristics, the show would have ended like after the first episode. He would
Which
have
is
the teacher would have
yeah,
taken. Yeah,
yeah,
the
I
teacher would
agree.
have taken the money and it would have been over. But because she is emotionally reactive, because she is set up the way she actually is kind of like the driver of the plot because she keeps
Yeah.
getting involved in these situations. Um, she's not the only
Very,
one though. And
very stupidly getting involved. Very stupidly getting involved.
I mean,
Frustratingly getting involved.
they keep they keep conning her though. Like in this last episode, they had kind of the lawyer play the part, and he's just laughing because he's like,
Who
"It's
we
just a
all
game. You can make some
shady.
money." What
We
happened?
all knew this was shady. We all knew, like as soon like there's he gets involved in it's like we knew like can we spoil this? Can we
Yeah,
spoil this?
yeah. I
Oh
think I
yeah.
forgot to say at the beginning that there's going to be spoilers, but I'll put it in the description so people know.
We're gonna spoil it. So it turns so she ends up winning the first liar game. She gives the money to the teacher anyway. She wins the money. She gives the money to the teacher, and she was supposed to split whatever money that she won with the con man guy. But since she gave up her half of the money to the teacher, he was like, "Give this half to him too, because since you gave him all your money, you've won nothing. So I can't take half of your nothing," which is respectable. I get that. So he's like, "Give this to him too, even though he's a degenerate gambler. Go ahead." And so she's like, "Oh, I got another liar game invite." And he's like, "Well, just ignore it." The con guy's like, "Just ignore it. Don't do it. Just there's nothing they can do. Just don't do it." She ends up going back to the shady lawyer,
No, he
and
comes to her.
no, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
paid
you're right.
him.
You're right. He
They
comes to her.
paid him.
He comes to her.
They paid
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
They
They
paid him.
he goes because she like tells him off, and she's like, "I'm not doing this." Blah 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 blah. And so the lawyer comes to her. He ends up talking her into going to the place where the second liar game is. And so she meets this dude there at this place, and he's like, "Well, I'll set up a meeting with the people so you can talk to them to tell them that you're not doing it." Like, why would I do that? So she gets to the place and she meets this dude in the mask, and the dude takes off the mask, and it's the lawyer, who we all knew it was going to be the lawyer anyway. And he's like, "Well, you're here now, so you're technically on a property, so you're technically part of the game. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?" There's no
See,
reason to do it.
I have two reasons for liking this show
Wait,
now.
hold on. I
Go
gotta
ahead.
I also have to say this. I also have to say this. Her dad is sick and dying, and she's in need of money for him. So instead of taking the 100 million that she won and using it towards her dad, she gave it to the teacher. That was a degenerate gambler that lied, that deceived her, that threw her under the bus, that was making fun of her, all of that. She's like, you know what? Here, my only thing is don't say anything negative again.
No, it was because it made her so sad that he didn't want to trust people, that he didn't think that he could trust anybody.
Yeah, because you're a degenerate gambler. They're coming back for their money. That's why you can't trust them.
Maul had a mic drop there.
No,
Yeah.
I had a mic knock over. I did that intentionally because I got so mad.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, yeah,
Well,
done with it.
see, now I have two reasons to watch this show. I like it.
I
I
do
like the
like it.
Liar's Game. I want to see what happens. I'm interested in seeing how the con man resolves all these things
Right.
because that's essentially what's going to happen. So that's the main drive of the show. So you got two factors. You got her stumbling her way through this, and you got him figuring ways to get out of it. But the second reason I'm going to watch this show is because Jamal hates it so much, and I'm going to troll him
I
with it now. So be
and
ready
that's
for
the
that, Jamal.
I
Be
don't
ready
hate
for it.
it. Like the yeah, I said this was my banger bus show. This is the
Yep.
epitome of a banger bus show, and the banger bust is 100% on now. Is 100% on now. If you can like be like Edwin and like justify it, like she's very childlike, she's very immature, she's
I
stupidly.
don't.
If you could like, if you could buy into that, then you'll
I
really
don't.
enjoy the show.
Jamal, the only
If
reason I'm trying to justify it is for you, but I can compartmentalize like her,
yeah,
like
I
her.
yeah,
I can compartmentalize her actions and
mhm,
understand that this show's using her to drive the narrative forward. But then I
yeah.
can still enjoy the show because I know that. It's
We're
like,
we're,
oh
we're
my god.
saying yeah,
I can sit here
we're
and
saying
say,
this.
yeah, I
We're
can sit here
saying
and say this chick is just stupid. I mean, I could just sit here and say this character is like fundamentally profoundly stupid, but like I won't jump to that first. I'll try to be a little bit more eloquent in my description of her and try to appreciate what the creators are doing before I go there, but I can compartmentalize that part of it and enjoy the rest of the show. And I think that the rest of the show makes it worth watching. I mean, if you like to see, and I think that people will like watching the con man figure stuff out and like the way he put her school teacher through that psychological like torture in order to get him to crack, I thought was a lot of fun to watch too.
I thought so too.
Because
Yeah.
he is feeding off of, he's working with like, this is what I know about human beings, and so I'm going to use that strategically to break this man, and that's what he does. And I
Mhm.
thought that was interesting to watch. That was fun to watch, and they do have like little cliffhangers. We were like, and that's one of the things that I really like about this show, the little hooks at the end. That
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm interested enough to see what happens next.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
okay, I want to know what happens next. And it's like not a lot of shows um do that. Like most shows I'll be like, "Oh, I'm excited to see what happens next because I'm genuinely liking the show." With this show, it's like it's entertaining enough, and then they always leave me like, "Well, I'm curious."
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where they go with this. Curious to see what they do. I'm curious to see what kind of solutions. So I mean, like in that regard, I'm intellectually like with most shows, it's more of an emotional thing. Like with Demon's Daughter, it was like that's emotional. Like I want to see Doe, sing and like that comfort and warmth. With this show, it's a purely intellectual like curiosity of like I want to
Mhm.
see what happens next and how this guy's going to figure this out and what kind of wrinkles are going to pop up because it's going to get more complex as it goes along.
I just had an epiphany. I can
What?
fix this show very easily.
He
This
did
is
not
this
make
how
any
how-
sense.
this
Oh
is how
my
easy
god.
this is how easy it is to fix this show. Instead of calling her stupidly honest and harping on it, just make the character neurodivergent.
Well, she is.
Okay.
I
Just
mean,
make her
that's
like
just another
autistic.
way. Yeah.
Just say like instead of saying that, just be like, man, this character's autistic or she's got Asperger's or something, and then you sympathize with the character because you're like, this character needs help,
Yeah,
needs somebody, and you're taking advantage of this kid, and they're and this they can't handle decisions like this on their own. Then then I have sympathy for this character. But
Didn't you
when
have a
you're
reason like to root for them, right?
exactly, exactly. But when you're grown and the only way they explain it is she's stupid honest. Now I'm like, just you deserve what you get because like it's one thing to be honest and to be nice, but how many times do you need to get taken advantage of before you learn?
I think I think that might be a cultural description in calling her stupidly honest.
It might
Um,
be, but it's bothersome.
yeah.
Just
I
make
think
her neuro. I think they're code. I think she's neurodivergent coded. I'm learning these terms. So like I think she's neurodivergent coded. But
Well,
just come out and
maybe
say this character's autistic. And I can and then the whole thing completely turn. Then everything that she does is justifiable and understandable.
maybe when the dub comes out, it might be a little bit better. You know what I mean? Better like
Maybe I'm going to listen to the
translated or
dub.
whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm going to listen to the
Which
dub out of
I
respect for Go Rochelle. But you know,
yeah, I won't find out because like I knew I wasn't watching this shit. You know, from the get go. Now I know for sure I'm not watching this shit.
Well, and like Edwin makes it seem like I hate the show. I don't. I do enjoy it, but like from other people that I've seen watching the show, like it 100% hinges on that character. That's it,
Mhm.
and it's because of the way that they play her. But like I said, if you make that character neurodivergent, like just come out and say it, I think it completely changes everybody's opinions on them.
Okay. Yeah.
Or
That's
you could or you could just be like me and ignore her for the most
yeah.
part. And be
She-
like, it's like he's gonna do something stupid again. It's like it's not gonna be like that is what it is. She's gonna do something stupid. They're gonna get her again. They're gonna keep hooking her because they can keep playing her. And so and it's like that's gonna and then that gets me to the good parts because it keeps the show going. Um, that's I mean, yeah. I understand everything Jamal's saying. I think he's kind of making it a little bit more complex than it needs to be. But and this show's not going to be for everybody. It's just not. I mean, you have to specifically like those kinds of like. You have to be like I said, it's really intellectual. It's like you have to have some intellectual curiosity
Mhm.
for this show.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're just going to be. I'm not interested because it's like, I want to go watch Solo Leveling again. It's like, it's like it's too yeah, it's too
mhm.
it's not a hard recommend because I think like Jamal said, there are aspects that you might like about it. But yeah, like if you have any problems with that character, just
You're
don't
not
even
really.
bother.
Just don't even bother.
No.
It's got
If
a
you
six.
can't
It's got a 6.5 on Mal.
It's not terrible.
no.
It's the
Yeah.
same range as like my ridiculous. So hey.
Except Ridiculous is better, probably.
They're in the same bit. I mean, look, like I said, like when I first started, like I don't know how I feel. I don't know. Like the first arc, we get it as you know. I think in the last episode, she says like I'm going to play the game for real or something along those lines. So like if she like strengthens up, and isn't this stupidly honest, then I think the show could really take off. But as long
Well,
as they're going to lean on her being stupidly honest, it's going
well,
to
in that
it's
last
going to make people
episode,
mad.
yeah, in that last episode, she manages to use like her waterworks to pull in
Yeah,
the crew that they're
yeah,
going to use to like win the game.
yeah,
And so she becomes an asset in that, like her panicking, her emotionality, all of
exactly.
that. Like they're like they feel bad for her. They're like, oh my god, what you know? So she manages to pull in not only the con artist, but now the crew that they're going to use to win the game. There or this portion of the game.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, he's using that as an asset at least.
Yeah, and he did that before, but she's getting smart enough now, so it's like okay, if she, like I said, it's all dependent on this character. It's just that this character got off to such a bad start that a lot of people are just going to crap all over it. But
Mm.
it's like Edwin said, if they had a better way to justify the character, I think people wouldn't have been as harsh on it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I will be watching. I will be watching till the end of the season.
Well, good luck. I hope that she gets some development to make it a little bit better.
I'm gonna be watching this and I'll be texting Jamal every time she does something stupid or crazy. I'm like, Jamal. Ah,
What'd you think, Jamal?
Mhm. And he
All
yep,
is.
right,
And he
I
is.
am.
that's funny.
Um,
I guess we'll see where it goes, though. Uh, y'all got anything else for what was it, liar game? Is that what it's called?
Liar game. Liar game.
Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, I think it's
Edwin, I think we
Edwin's
went
turn.
around. Yeah,
oh yeah,
so Edwin, you got another one?
yeah, the Kiro fan club.
Oh,
This one
yeah.
is this
The
one
high
is
dive
on.
show.
It's a high dive show. This show is batshit crazy. It's about these two girls, these two like introverted, shy girls who are they're just they're deranged in a lovable way. I mean their obsession with this guy who and I love that this show does this. They don't show you his face. Like you never see his face. Like they make this guy
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
cipher, and yet there these girls are like, he's so handsome, he's adorable, and they do all of the things that like, like when you're a fool for somebody or when you're obsessed with somebody, when you have that like teen crush, where you're writing their, you're writing your name with their last name or like whatever, or you're
Bless you.
doing spells or writing songs, and like when they're there's a bit where they write a song and they start naming his body parts as like what they love about him. And it's like just it's so deranged, but it's so funny. I couldn't keep my man and then they're best friends, but they're both in love with him, and they've got this rivalry going on, and they have to remind themselves, and they remind themselves of things, and they're so stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I
like,
I I
man,
I, I
you
hope
just
to I hope to check this out soon once I get my Prime and Hulu or High Dive.
oh,
This
you
one looks
got
pretty interesting. Yeah.
this one is worth checking out. I don't know what people are rating it as, and I know that a high dive is a little bit of an ask for some people
What's
because
it
it is
called?
another subscription.
Hero Fan
Keto
Club.
Fan Club.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
see what
but
they say.
these two are hilarious, man. Like every episode, like has me like in tears crying because just from laughing at the asinine and absurd ways in which they like there's an episode where she wants to she says she would love to smell his farts, and I'm like, wrong with these girls, like there's a whole episode, there's a whole bit about his jacket where they're chasing his jacket and they're like dancing with it down the hallway, and they accidentally throw it out a window. Uh, so they have to go rescue the jacket, and instead of like they're like, and the whole thing is so that they could give it back to him. But then they chicken out on that, and they just leave it on his desk, and it's just, oh man, this show is like, it's one of, I don't even know what this show is. It's obviously slice of life romance, but unrequited love from these two girls, and just the way that they, like, the first episode is just the first bit is them pretending to be him to each other so that they can practice talking to him. And the girls, like, and one of the girls is like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. And the other girl's like, that's perfect. That's just like him. That's the way he sounds. I'm like, that doesn't sound like anything. And it's true because the dude is just this whole cipher. The one interaction they have with him early on in the episodes is he's asking about how many moles they have on their body because he's counted the moles on his body and he thinks it's an unusual number of moles.
What
And
the hell?
and you think they're having an appropriate response when they're speechless. Like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? But no, they're absolutely amazed and like dumbfounded by the profound nature of what he said. I'm like, that wasn't profound at all. You guys are crazy. Yeah, so it's a fun show. It's hilarious. Yeah. Oh
I,
man.
I definitely
6.23
want to
on Mal.
watch this. What is it?
6.23 on Mal.
I mean,
Mm.
it makes sense for like a high dive show like this.
Mm,
So, but I definitely want to watch it. I just I need to get like the high dive shit figured out because I don't want to sell. You know what I mean? Like it's too much work to sell. But I definitely
it
want to watch
is.
it. So
If you're looking for like a straight up romance, this is not the show.
yeah.
If you're looking for a
Well,
straight up slice of life, this is not the show.
Well,
If you're looking for,
Based on Mal, the Curio dude, he's a supporting character, so obviously it's not going to be like a hardcore romance. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's more about like the probably the comedy aspect, the humor aspect of film. You know, having loving him, but not being having enough courage to act on it or whatever, right?
right. Well,
So
this is like me and Jamal really like this show, Talking in the Food Court with You.
yeah,
You remember that, Jamal?
see you in the food court.
See
yeah.
You in the Food Court. Yeah. Where it's pretty much these two girls talking about their lives. We thought there was only like 6 episodes of that, and we thought that was perfect because anything
Mm.
else would have been like, what are they going to do? So this is essentially the anime of that show. It's like these two girls, and really the core of it is the discussions that these two girls have. How their friendship plays out, how the emotional range that they have when discussing, like how it is they're going to talk to this man, and that's the core of it is the relationship between the two of them and just the absurd ways in which they want to express their love for this guy. And it's absolutely, it's hilarious. Yeah, it's definitely like a hidden gem that I think that people should watch. I'm like, it's like you said, it's like these other shows. It's not going to end up on anybody's top 10, but I think that if you watch it, it'll be one of those shows where you're like, you got to watch this because it's funny, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. Like I think this is definitely definitely something worth checking out. You know, people probably won't because like I said, it's on High Dive.
I think they maybe have about 5 new shows.
Yeah,
And one of them is a follow up to the farming show,
yeah,
which is just like a mega, and that's just a mega harem. So
yeah.
I can't really be like, oh, you guys got to get High Dive for the farming show. That's like, he's
the
got like 300 wives. It's like, no.
yeah what is it the Isekai 100 girlfriends, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well,
But yeah, I
this is
mean,
the quality on that is not nowhere. It's nowhere
Just,
near like, yeah.
just wait till the season. Just wait about 6 months after the season ends. It'll be on Hulu.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
They,
I mean,
Um.
I hope it ends up somewhere where it's more accessible to everybody, because I think it definitely deserves that.
it'll be
I
on
think that's a
Hulu.
good choice, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. If no one else has anything to add to the Curios fan club, Jack, do you want to get on with your next show since you are the next one up?
I'll do a
Okay.
hybrid since my windows might be closing a little bit. So, well, first, quick little shout out towards Ramparts. Reminds me of Toradora. Watch it. I think it's better than a lot of other shows. Then the
Mm-hmm.
second one, Release That Witch. I'm going to say it one more time. Watch this show. I'm not
Yeah.
exaggerating.
Yeah,
Did
because it ain't coming back.
Nope.
did you happen to like do any research on what I sent you, Jack?
Which one?
The like the news that's saying that like it wasn't even gonna finish the first season or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and it made
Is that
sense.
true?
It's like one of those things where it makes sense. Like there would probably be more notes, and they probably have planning in regards to something because, yeah, I didn't realize how popular it is throughout the Mawa or pretty much for their Chinese literature stuff, and then it's currently ranked 100th on my anime list at the moment.
It, it's crazy since it's so popular that they're gonna like shut it down or whatever due to like budget. I think they said on the news picture or whatever it was like due to budget reasons. I
Yeah,
feel
Yeah,
like if you're like that popular and you're doing that good, like how why can't you get the budget?
that's the
Especially if
thing.
you was budgeted for multiple seasons or whatever, right? So
Yeah,
That's really dumb because this show was like, Jack wasn't kidding. I loved it because it's one of the most subtle isekais I've ever seen in my life. Like, that was really well done. That was really well executed. Like, blink and you miss it. Like, Jack missed it. Like, I'm watching this, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
this is an isekai. And he missed it because it's that subtle. If you're not paying attention, you will miss the fact that this is an isekai. Um, and then it was kind of like, and I loved it because it's one of my, I love those resource management isekai.
yeah,
Where it's like, like, oh,
yeah,
here's like I remember this from the old world or from my previous life. So I'm gonna figure out like how much food does my village need to survive during the winter. So it's got that aspect, but it also reminds me of Game of Thrones a little bit because you also do have that political intrigue of like, like he's like in line for the throne, so he's going to have to fight his way through like different levels of nobility, and then he's going to have to like they throw in some intrigue about his family that's trying to, and, and this is a little bit of a spoiler. His sister's trying to assassinate him, and so that and then but then you have a cult of witches who are trying to survive, so that comes into play. So you got a lot going on in here, for it just being like, it's definitely not just a flat out isekai show. And it manages to balance all of those aspects pretty well too, which is hard to do for any show, let alone like something random that came from like, a production company we've never heard of. And that they're doing themselves a disservice, by like, yeah, because when they ended it, I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, you've got like all these different plot points going on. um the animation is good. I think maybe because they're using, like, there are times they're using three different animation styles, um, and it
maybe they
blends
blew
together
through the
pretty well.
budget or something.
Maybe
every nook and cranny, every nook and cranny. Sounds like it.
because
Yeah.
it looks really good. There are moments where they throw 3D in there, but nothing to the point. And I mean, it looks really good, but nothing to the point where I'm like, what budget did they give you? Like, how much
Yeah,
money did they give you? Yeah, because if like it looks good, but it doesn't look like, like money good.
correct.
It's like, yeah, like I've seen there are better animated anime than this, so I don't get it. But Jack's not wrong. This is definitely a show worth your time. If you like anyone, like if you like political intrigue, if you like fantasy shows, if you like isekai, there's a whole bunch of different things. If you like Game of Thrones, There's a whole bunch of different. There's a lot for everybody in here, and like, yeah, don't
Yeah.
sleep on this one.
I was actually gonna check out Release the Witch when the season wrapped up or whatever, you know. I was gonna watch it all at once. I'm pretty sure Jack
Mhm.
was the one told me about it. Last time I
Yeah,
talked to him, probably because
yeah,
I
he
think
definitely
he
was the one because he's been
yeah.
beating
Yep.
that drum for a while.
Well, I
Yep.
think he said he said he compared it to Apothecary Diaries.
Well,
So
in a
in a
sense that
way,
Yeah,
it's Chinese and the main character is a semi-inventor as well, and
yeah.
it makes you think of apothecaries and isekai as well because Mamo makes ice cream, you know?
yeah. Well, yeah, true.
Jack,
You know, she's ahead of her time, kind of. You know what I mean? So, uh,
Jack, Jack cracks me up sometimes. I mean, he, it's similar to Apothecary Diaries. Not only in that regard, I mean, that's like the least regard, um, because you have that political court intrigue, and you have
Mhm.
those assassination attempts, so that plays into that too. But then you have lords that are like,
And
um,
China, it's China.
yeah, yeah,
mhm.
yeah, very true. But yeah, no, Jack, you definitely picked you found a good one, dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I'm reiterating because it's the mid-season of winter and spring, and people are catching on. People are fans of it more than I had expected. And even as janky as it is, and problematic as the production is with everything else, no, just drop the bullshit. Watch the 8 episodes. Be a fan. You know, that's all I could say.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to really soon. Because you definitely got me interested in it, especially since it's only apparently supposed to have only 8 episodes now.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Might as well just
It's a
watch it
finale.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
see if I should like read the manhwa or source
yeah.
or
Even may
whatever it is.
it
So
makes me want to do it. To be honest.
yeah.
The cool thing
Uh,
is that like it's complete in that like it has a satisfying the 8 episodes, they
it
don't
ends
leave
in
you
a good spot.
satisfied. It
Yeah.
leaves it in a good spot. Yeah, it leaves it in a spot where like he's accomplished something, and you could see that there's a whole lot more because there's a lot of plot threads that are there that they could do stuff with.
And it's technically the most action-packed episode of the season so far, I would argue.
Yeah, and I loved his. And I'm not going to spoil this because I want Jamal and Jamal and Tyler to experience this. But I really love the way that he resolved Jack when what he decided to do at the end. What he said that shocked
Yeah,
his not
yeah,
only
yeah.
yeah, that was like, I'm like, oh shit, dude, you're playing with a full deck of cards there, man.
Yeah, that's the best pop of the seasons or of the season so far for sure.
Yeah, that was a nice little twist. I was like, oh, you ain't messing around, dude. You ain't messing around. And that was like, I was like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, shit, man, Jack got me hooked on this show. But I'm like, yeah, I was like, I was pretty impressed with the way, yeah, I was like, I didn't see that coming. But he was like, all right, you guys want to be underhanded? I can be underhanded too. You know, it was a big FU to all these people. And I was like, man, I was not expecting this from this show, but okay. Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. Maybe by the time we do the this is
The
the spring
the
review
spring, yeah.
the spring
Yeah.
review because I'm sure that this is the spring review is where we will talk about where y'all would talk about this show, right, since it just ended.
You know what? Here's a good idea. Here's a good idea. On your next BS hour, why don't we just do a release the witch review?
I mean, we can, yeah. After it would have to be after
Or
ASIM, you
like,
know.
yeah, like in a
But yeah,
future episode.
yeah, yeah. Well, that way it's fresh in my mind because my mind is horrible. And
Yeah.
you know,
Hey,
Jamal
look,
has to
man.
watch it, and I feel like Edwin and Jack they got really good memories. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I said, I wouldn't even mind reading the manhwa. I wouldn't mind rewatching that. At least see the Sky bullshit because the beginning is so janky, and because there's like sound syncing issues, and I'm like, ugh. All right, I'll be
Don't
patient.
don't skip the first episode. I know Jack has his issues with it, I that's where you catch a lot of information. It's a little the opening scenes are a little confusing because there's a fire in a mine, so you're kind of like, what's going on? What am I walking into? But it starts to establish itself really quickly in that first episode, and like I said, you have it's one of the most subtle isekai transitions that I've ever seen. There's no truck-kun, so it's like no goddesses, no truck-kuns. You got to pay attention, but when you do, you're like, this show rewards you. It's like it's not like dumbing things down for you at all, and it rewards you with you're like, oh, okay, like the way Clevitis did, where it's like we're not going to spoon feed you the plot. It's just like here it is, here are these moments, and in that sense, it becomes a little bit predictable. Like you can see what's coming because you know, like what the show does. But then it still surprises you too. There are plot elements where you're like, whoa, okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, let's yeah, if y'all are down, we can definitely get together and like do a like a review is esque type thing. Later on, like late May or so, you know what I mean? Give us plenty of
Sure,
time to
I'm down
watch
for
and
it.
stuff. So
Works for me. Works for me.
but
All
yeah.
I need is one free day, and I'll just
I
And
need
knock it
more than
out.
that, so
yeah, one like a couple of days when they're at school and I don't fall asleep. It's just like because it's only 8 episodes, so
yeah,
we're
yeah.
looking at what, 4
And it went
hours
by,
maybe.
yeah,
I could knock that out in one
and
sitting.
it went by so freaking fast. I'm not kidding, because of this season bridge nonsense.
Well,
Yeah.
now that you're watching or whatever, or you're finishing up or whatever, make sure y'all take y'all's notes. Have it ready for that stuff. We'll get back together with that one then and talk in detail with it. See what's going on with it.
Hmm.
Um, Real quick, I want to touch on. I know Jack.
Yeah.
Before Jack leaves,
Hmm.
um, I want to talk about Ramparts of Ice because I
Oh
this is
yeah.
my favorite show of the season. So, and I
Wow,
know that
what a
it's kind of
surprise.
popular, huh?
Wow, what a surprise.
Who would have guessed? I know. So Ramparts of Ice. I'm glad that Jack mentioned this because that's one less that I have to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is my favorite show of the season.
No,
I'm a big fan of like the more serious, romance shows or whatever, kind of like this. I'm not gonna say like it's super serious. Like there's still a lot of comedy in it. But it does have a more serious tone to it, especially if you compare it to like Polar Opposites, for example.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you're looking at like a different main characters or whatever, and they're not as bright and bubbly as Polar Opposites was or whatever. But this one, like, I really enjoy like the main character. I think her name's Kyoko. I really enjoy her a lot because like I feel like we're gonna get to like she has issues, right? She has past
Yeah.
issues that she's trying to work out as she goes or whatever. And um it's definitely setting itself up to be like a romance, but it almost feels like it's more than it almost feels like it's like multiple love interest
Well,
romance.
confession, this show I like already. I like it better than Polar Opposites. Main,
I ain't surprised,
yeah.
honestly.
Well, main reason because of that notion, because Polar Opposites is a science experiment how to deal with emotions, and the process of dating, the process of hanging out, process of touching hands, and all that beautiful stuff. This one's the uh, science of appearances and science of interjecting with your needs. And these characters have needs, they just don't know it. And that's the main character in a nutshell, because she's so ice queened, quote unquote, but she's vibing,
Mhm.
she's chilling, she's actually going along with the joke a little bit. In her outlet with her friend, yeah, that's pretty much always been there. She's just getting used to these boys. We still don't know like the whole backstory of why she's kind of like,
The middle school.
yeah, a little
Yeah,
bullying with her
we
size. But I have a funny feeling there's a little bit more there to the too.
there was more
And
to it. There was more to it because they touched on this slightly, talking about her being on the basketball team,
there you go.
and
Mhm.
her friend was like, still feeling bad about that. So that they've hinted at things, but they haven't really gone into detail about it.
I think we're getting really close
I think so
to
too.
like things coming to an head, and like her having to face uh, her past. I feel like that's going to be like a major plot point in this show, is her facing her past, and I think that's coming really soon. Um, and I
Because
For
can't
me,
wait for that,
she
because
had
like I
a
think it's
she
going to be
we
a
we
good
we saw
time.
the boyfriend too. We saw her ex
Yeah,
boyfriend too. So like
well, this is
we know that
for
there's
me.
some stuff there.
This is the trauma show for the season. Like
yeah,
this is like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
unresolved trauma show for this season, where it's like she's got a lot of unresolved trauma. Like she was bullied, and like this got bad. Like that dude, whoever that dude was, he's a douchebag. Like he's a douchebag, and he's not a self-aware douchebag. So he's still the same person, and so that's all sorts of triggering for her. And what this guy is doing is like he's bringing all that back, and she's getting triggered by this dude because, and he's I don't know why, and I like this show because like they'll ask the questions, like her friend who I think was like an abuser of sorts in the past as well. I think she kind of
Mhm.
joined in, and like she eventually became protective of her, the main character. But this dude, I don't know. Like she's like, what are your intentions? She's like, "What are you doing? Like, this is my friend. She's not a project for you. She's
Hmm.
not. You can't. I don't want you to be the hero.
Mhm.
I don't want you to like leave her alone. Like what is this? What's going on?" And so she answers him honestly, and I really like that because a lot of shows you don't get that. You get a lot of like, huh, or what are you thinking, or
Yeah,
like it's a lot more passive. Where this show is a lot more like assertive
it's
with
straightforward.
these
Yeah.
people. Yeah, it's a lot more straightforward. You don't get all that running around. They balance it out with the humor, and like she's starting to open it up, but like in that last episode, she does get triggered, and you can
Yeah.
see it when she like gets upset with him. It's like, stop it! You're bringing all this stuff back up to the surface. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with him, and I don't want to deal with you. And he's playing it innocent because he doesn't understand, but at the same time it's like, well, what's going to happen now, because this is all going to have to come to a head at
Yeah,
some point. And I think like you said, that's where we're going with the story. I think that'll be the next arc, but this is not going to be an easy watch. I mean, this is like the humor balances it out and stuff, but this is going to be a rough watch because that dude is a douchebag. And so it's like that's gonna take some confrontations. And I do like the fact that this show's not afraid to go there. They cut out a lot of like the where another show would have taken them 3 seasons to deal with this. I think that like this author definitely knows like how to like push these things forward a lot faster, like with polar opposites. Yeah, so I that's one of the things I appreciate. But at the same time, I'm like, this is not going to be my favorite show because of the fact that this is all about like the abuse that she went through, how it triggers her, what her emotional response to it. A sophisticated show that will probably be on Jack's will be in Jack's top 10. I'm not sure, but for me, it's like this is a bit much.
yeah. I mean, I get it. I tend to like them a little bit more when they have a little bit more of that added to it. Not just like lovey-dovey polar opposites type thing,
Yeah.
which I love that a lot too. But when it gives me a little bit more, especially dealing with the characters or whatever, I just like them a lot more. So if
Yeah.
they do it good.
In this, and like I said, short in the intro, this is the quintessential evolved realistic, a little bit more realistic Toradora, and Toradora pretty much started that trend. Pretty much was like the pinnacle point of a lot of these romance shows, and the same dynamics. The short main character, the tall, handsome guy, and the spunky friend is in there too, Minori,
Well,
with
this
Mickey.
goes back to a conversation we had with Martin a long time ago, and it was like the creation of the tsundere, and
Yeah,
it was like where they saw this character type, they saw this archetype, and they just made it. They took it and made it devoid of any other emotional arc. Where here in Ramparts of Ice, that's kind of given back to the character.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Be-
it's like,
because because
oh,
like Toradora, they had a lot of trauma, and that was like a different like sphere too. And that came, it was like more like a punch in the wall. This one's like, yeah, this is the focus. We're not gonna josh you like Toradora.
well, with Tyga, I mean, with Tyga, it was, like her parents were failures as parents. I
Yeah,
mean, that's where her trauma and trust issues came from, and that's where like I have to defend myself from the world because the world, there's nobody. I don't have anybody to depend on. But you got you. It was so. How do I put this? Well, in Ramparts of Ice, she's a far more complicated character, and then you right away you see where she's coming from. You get an inkling of why she is the way she is, but you haven't seen the full story yet.
yeah,
But yeah, and I think instead of being like, I don't think that it's better than Polar Opposites. I think it's a complementary show.
yeah.
Where you get
It's two
one view of the
bookends.
world. Yeah, where in Polar Opposites you get one view of the world, and in Ramparts of Ice you get another view of the world. It's the same high school world, but it's two different viewpoints based on perspective.
Agreed,
Like
agreed. Yeah,
she's on the other side of the wall because her trauma pushed her there, where the other kids haven't experienced that trauma to the extent that she has. And this is the serious show where Polar Opposites more the comedy show.
yeah. I agree.
So are you saying that the shows are polar opposites?
It actually
That's better.
sorta, yeah. I
That's the
mean,
best
yeah.
placement for it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So uh, one question I got, I just wanna see what y'all feeling because I think that there's a possibility that this does happen, like it's kind of setting up for it, like where you got like really good chemistry between, Kiyoki, which is the main character or whatever, the ice queen
Mhm.
or whatever,
Koiki.
and Yota, which is, I think she called him Giraffe or something like that.
Yeah, she
This
calls him.
really
Giraffe.
tall dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got really good chemistry between them. Like she really enjoys talking to him and stuff. Like you would almost be led to believe that he has a shot, right? Like that's who I would hope that she would end up with. But it's also playing it as like Minato is also has a shot, and for shows like this, it's usually Minato is the one that wins. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So, what do y'all think? Y'all think that it's gonna be like a three-way, like a polygon type thing, and like Minato is gonna win, or you think Yota actually has a shot, or like what's going on? What do y'all think?
It's gonna be a big, beautiful mess, similar to Journal of the Witch. No
And
joke.
add Mickey in there too, like where's she standing and all. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
don't know. So
And I hope it doesn't go Twilight-y. I just hope it's like its own story where you
Well,
find out.
it's like Jack said. It's a more modern Toradora because I think that you will have. I think they'll all be rivals for each other's affections. I think they'll all end up getting there. Like how this resolves itself, I'm not sure. Um, but I definitely once they get over the hurdles and the trauma, but I think until then, there's definitely going to be some hurt and pain
oh
and some
yeah, yeah,
rejection and like misunderstandings along the way. Who she ends up with, I don't know. Uh,
yeah.
I
It's hard to
I
see,
haven't. Yeah, yeah.
think I
That's an
think I
interesting
think I think she's going to end up with Yoda.
I would
Yoda.
love
Uh,
that honestly. I would
I
really
think she's
love
going to end
that.
up
I
with
just
Yoda,
don't.
because I
It just
think
never happens like that, though. You know what I mean? It never happens like that because Minato is having a lot of issues connecting with her, but he's still trying. I feel like that's just a sign of them saying, "Hey, like, they're gonna struggle early on, but once they click and once they figure out like what they are, and why it's not working or like what's troubling them or whatever, then once they figure that out, then it's gonna be like over for Yota pretty much. It's gonna be like all Minato's game to lose, sort of kind of
Well,
thing.
yeah,
It's what it
I,
seems
I think
like.
I agree with you. I think that Yota would be the safe choice for her,
It'd
but
be
it
a
would
good
also
choice for
be
her.
yeah. But I also think it would be the non-growth choice.
Yeah.
I think for her and Minato, that would in order for them to be a successful couple, they both have to resolve their issues and have a lot of growth.
And that's the thing
So
too is
yeah,
like we're talking about like Hikawa's issues, which is the main character, but even though Minato doesn't really put himself out there like that, he has issues too. We just don't know
oh yeah,
about them yet. There's a reason why
yeah,
he
definitely.
there's a reason why he gravitates towards the lonely people or whatever, trying to like make them, less lonely or whatever. There's a reason why he does that because he
I
has
have a
issues in his past. So
I get that, but I have a little bit of a problem with that
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm like
Well, so did Mickey.
he's
You
a
know what I mean? That's what she said.
yeah. Well, because it's like well beyond that because it's like that's what predators do. They single
yeah,
out the people who are lonely or sad because they feel like they could, like the narcissistic predators, they single them out. And her friend was right to call him out on it. Like, why are you doing this? Are you doing
Yeah,
this
mhm.
for yourself? Are you doing this for her? And
yeah.
I have a problem with him because of that. And so it's like, yeah,
He
See,
definitely
Jack.
isn't the best right now,
yeah,
but I think it's because we just don't understand him fully yet. Or at least I don't.
yeah.
So
Well,
It's
we need to
possible.
see his backstory and figure out why it is that he
it's
does that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
yeah.
Jack compared this to Toradora. Like this to me is like what I wanted Honey Lemon Soda to be,
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I
right?
agree.
I
Because
mean,
like Honey
it's sort
Lemon
of
Soda,
the same thing, right? Like
exactly.
you got like a trauma past or whatever.
Pretty much a
I
real
like those type of romances.
pretty much a
Yeah,
realistic approach where you're just looking at the characters as they are as high school kids, figuring things out, and not a lot of tomfoolery, as it were.
Hmm.
there's some similarities because in Honey Lemon Soda she was bullied for being skinny or small or whatever. So you got
Yeah,
that, and then like you said with Minato, that character reminded me of the guy from Honey Lemon Soda so much, and that
Yeah,
was my biggest issue with him. I'm like he preys on these like insecure girls, and he dates
Yeah.
them until they have to rely on him for everything to make himself feel good. And I didn't like that. That's why I did not like that character. And that's why that scene with Miki was so impactful to me. Because I'm like, this is exactly what I didn't like about that guy in Honey Lemon Soda. And she had a very mature response, like almost too mature. Like I don't think a high schooler would quite pick up on that,
yeah,
but I was
Well,
glad that you did pick up on it and call him out and say, "Hey, look, you can't just keep picking on these lonely people and forcing your friendship on them." And it's like you said, it does bring up like, what is your trauma?
yeah.
Why is it that you do this? Now, it's okay to go out there and try to like befriend the outcast. Like, man, this kid, nobody's talking to this kid. Why is nobody talking to this kid and talking to him? And like, there's nothing wrong with that. But he doesn't approach it with that kind of righteousness. You know what I mean? It almost
Yeah.
feels like, like I said, it's like he's forcing his friendship upon you, like it's an obligation that he has to do this. And I love that Miki was like, no, you can't, you're not going to do this to her. No.
Yeah.
in the,
I think
to,
she even faced. I think she faced bullying for being small too. I think that was
I
one of
think
the main
so.
things at
Yeah,
the beginning, her
yeah.
size, and then like she makes a comment about her when she's talking to Giraffe Coon. I'm
Mm,
going to call him that because that's a cool. That was really cool.
That's a
Um,
great, yeah, that's a great moment.
mhm,
yeah, she talks about the size of her hand and how she can't just like grip the ball the way she
mhm,
wanted to. So yeah,
yeah,
there was definitely like, and I think I remember like at the beginning they were at the very beginning of the show there were flashbacks to where people were talking about how small she was and like
yeah,
yeah so
yeah,
Well,
she
even
definitely
even when she had to get saved by Draft Coon,
yeah,
like I'm pretty sure that the people who was sort of like intimidating her or whatever, like I'm pretty sure that they was talking about how she couldn't do anything because she was so small. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. And that was
And that,
that was
yeah,
that was a scary moment.
yeah,
Like I got
yeah
nervous there because I was like,
yeah. So
where are
some
we going?
anime, like they decide to go down that path,
They
Yeah,
will go
yeah
down that
and
path. I
it's
got
all
nervous.
yeah,
And
and it's
nervous.
for that effect, Jamal. It really is that okay, you
It
can
was
figure it
for
out.
that effect. And
Yeah,
like that's like I'm not a woman. I've never had to go through that experience except for like the time where this dude tried to steal my bike. But like
oh boy,
I could yeah, but like to be surrounded by three bigger guys like that and they're grabbing on you and like that's terrifying.
it's common
Hmm.
too.
That's
Sadly,
t-
sadly,
yeah, it is sadly
yeah
common, and that's scary because, like you said, it's anime. You don't know what direction you're going to go with. I was so
no
scared, and so they saw him, and like when she was like, "Hey, Yoda," yelled out to him, I was like, "Okay, here's the moment where he comes and saves her."
And
But he
then he
didn't
does, and
see
then it kind
her
of seems
first,
like he doesn't,
yeah,
right?
and
it's a
I
funny.
and
It's the funniest
and
part of this season so
it's
far.
not. I almost got a little scared again. I was like, "No, he's got to show up." He's got to show up. But I did for like a half a split second. I was like, oh no, they're gonna go there. And then
well,
like but then I'm like, no, he's got to show up, and he showed up, and I'm like, thank you, but like that's terrifying. And it's like, has this happened to
Hmm.
this girl before? Like it just brought up more of that stuff, and it's like I know where Edwin is like it's a good show, but I know how. But this show,
It can be too
uh,
much at times.
trigger warnings,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
yep
This
yeah.
show does definitely has trigger warnings to it, and if you're not uh emotionally ready for those moments, it could be overwhelming.
I
With
feel like
that
we're gonna
scene
get even
too
more of that too. Like we're not
yeah
Yeah.
even like into the deep shit yet. You know what I mean? So
yeah
Mhm.
well the nitty gritty of like what happened to her but like with those guys this show is really one of the subplots of this show is men and their lack of emotional awareness like you can tell that these guys are not self-aware and they're not paying attention to how their actions affect the women in their lives like her ex-boyfriend that guy's a douche I'm gonna hate that dude from like square one I already know like I'm like I hate this dude because the comments that he makes right off the bat I'm like oh this guy's an asshole and that's part of the thing about like does he become self-aware I think this plays more to the guy to her love interests than anything else. Is he self-aware enough to like understand that and grow? The ex-boyfriend or whatever that guy is, he sounds like he's beyond saving. But that is one of the key factors of this show where the men aren't really the male characters aren't as emotionally aware as they should be, and they don't realize the damage that they're doing to the women in the show.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You know, I'm very interested to see where it takes us for the last half of the season or what. We ain't even at the halfway point, but last a little bit of the season because there's so many things that they could do, and there's like there like I want to see how they change our minds on certain characters. Like, do we start like rooting for Minato at some point? I don't know. As of right now, no, I'm not. I think he's okay, but I
Yeah.
think he's just ignorant. He doesn't realize
Yeah.
what he's
Yeah.
doing. Or
No.
Yeah.
whatever. So
He's misguided. I think he's misguided. Like I said, the dude from Honey Lemon Soda, he knew exactly what he was doing,
yeah, he was
and
pushy.
I
I
didn't
didn't
like
I didn't
that.
like him because he was pushy. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Minato's pushy, but it's because he's curious,
Yeah,
or
he's
like
not
he
doing it. I don't
wants
think
to
he's doing it
know.
maliciously. I don't think he's doing it
Yeah,
No.
maliciously. Yeah.
Well, his curiosity is trampling on a place that he doesn't understand.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know,
exactly.
he
But he's
doesn't
about to.
understand.
He's
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
he's about to.
she's gonna
Mhm.
lay it out on it, and he's gonna get some. I think that he's gonna get an undeserved smackdown because he, in his blundering around, he triggered something, and he's gonna get, like, he gets a smackdown
Mhm.
because it's like, dude, that's what you get. You
Yeah.
can't,
Yeah.
like, you wandered into a situation you knew nothing about, and even after you were warned, you still kept going. You still kept pushing. So now you're
Mhm.
gonna get told. You're gonna end up getting what other people deserve to get. You're gonna get some. You're gonna get some. You're gonna get some blowback
Mhm.
that's not entirely deserved, but that's what you get for blundering into a situation that you didn't understand.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
agree. Well, was I the only one, or did like before Miki kind of like smacked him down and was like being protective? Did you like a little hint of jealousy from her?
Yeah.
Like
I,
I
I
got a
think
hint.
one of
I got a
the
hint
that
of
was one of the
jealousy from her. Yeah, and like I felt like that was part of her motivation for like coming at Minato. Like, hey, dude, like chill on her. Like it was. I think she was being protective as a friend, but I think she also was like, I want that on me too. You know what I mean?
I think there was some possessiveness.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I think
I
that's
think
a
there
good.
was some possessiveness, but I also think that she, like, when she cries, it's because it's like, I don't want to be just one of this guy's projects.
Right.
Like,
Right.
she
I
lit
think she legitimately wants a relationship with him and not just a project.
well, she genuinely sees him as a friend.
Yeah.
She's just worried whether or not he's seeing her as another project.
Mm.
And so when he kind of confirms that she's not just another project, that she's like happy about that because it's like he seems to genuinely care about the dude. And
Yeah.
so I don't know so much that it's jealousy as much as possessiveness and not knowing where she stands with him. Like that clears it up.
I could
Yeah.
I could I could buy that.
Yeah, because this is definitely like the complex show of the season, and there's a lot of like teen stuff, a lot of teen
Mhm.
angst stuff going on, and like you said, it's almost too mature
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
like what's happening. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, you're getting a lot of these kids are sharp, man.
Yeah.
But
They're seeing the
also in a
patterns.
way, I think that most of these characters, I think that we have reason to believe that they're mature because of the past that they've had. I think the only one that isn't like on that level, well, like I think Yota. I don't think Yota actually has a past that I could be wrong.
No.
But it doesn't seem like he had. I think he's had a normal upbringing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no past to worry about. But I think all the other three, Miki, Minato, and Hikawa. I think all three of them. I think they have issues. Like I know some of them have issues, but I think they all have issues with
Mhm.
what's
Mm,
happened in the
yeah.
past. We just haven't seen them yet, so it's going to be interesting to see what they are, and how they handle them, and how they confront them and stuff like that. So um
There's a thing that I like about and it's funny because it's like this plays out in teen romances a lot. One of my favorite examples is the Hunger Games, where a lot of people tried to turn it into like the Twilight thing, where like who is she going to end up with? Like Katniss doesn't care. Katniss had to grow up fast to take care of family and survive. She's not thinking about that, and I think that that's the situation that you're getting here is that she's not thinking about this because she had to grow up fast because all of these people were coming at her. So yeah, you might be right, Tyler. That's why there's a little bit more emotional maturity with these characters because they had to go through those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I could buy it. If they got some therapy, I could buy it. I could buy it. But outside of therapy, like it takes a lot. Like like we're talking like going into early adulthood, like the 20s and stuff. They're still going through that and dating the same sort of people and doing that sort of thing. Most people. So like, like again, like it's teetering on a little too mature for me. But I would much rather have that than to have the general tropey high school romance thing. I
Jamal,
would much
what do you want? The indirect kiss storyline? Is that what
no,
it's like?
I don't want that. I don't want that. I thought
No,
no. I think Polar Opposites handled young teenage love really, really well. Because
yeah,
I think they put
yeah.
them in situations and handled the situations well. Like this, that with the heavy trauma that they're dealing with here, like where's the parents? We haven't talked to the parents. Like at least in Honey Lemon Soda, the dad was like, I knew the dad. We knew that the dad was overprotective. Like we got that, and that led to some of the trauma. For what was it, Ishikawa or whatever her name was. Like there was something. Like when you're talking about kid relationships suck. There's the rare few of the young love that like continues on. Shout out to my guy Booker. You just had a birthday, and him and his wife. I remember when they got together in high school, and they're still together
My
and
cousin
going strong.
Johnny, my cousin Johnny,
Yeah,
he got a wife in high school. Yeah,
yeah. So there's a couple stories like that, but like for the most part, yeah, high school relationships they ain't gonna last. And
Yeah,
you
you're
and you
figuring
have
things
to
out,
learn from it. You're figuring things out, but you're not figuring out to this level of maturity where it's like you're using like you it- somebody somebody like Miki would be like you're using me. It'll be like a using thing. It's not like hey, like you're seeking these people out to. She would use like the term like gaslighting, right? If she would be like, "Hey, you're gaslighting her," I could be like, I could buy that. I could see a high schooler saying that. I don't see a high schooler giving the detailed, mature, emotional response that Mickey gave him. Like
Pattern, the
but
pattern
but
recognition of his behavior.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
again, I'd much rather have that than what we normally get. So I'm not trying to crap on. I'm not trying to crap on it. It's just a minor thing. But it's still like top it's still probably going to be in my top 5 shows of the season.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Cool.
like I said, I think this has a range. I think it could stay at the top for me. I think it could end up being a 10, for me. But it depends. Like one thing I don't want it to do, I don't want it to rush the couple. Like I don't want it to rush
I
like establishing a couple or whatever, a
I
confession
agree.
or whatever. I don't want it to rush that. I want it to work through the issues that it has and maybe and build up like either way it goes, I wanted to fix what's going on and work through what's going on and then establish chemistry or whatever, because right now if it's going to be Minato, they don't have no chemistry. They have negative chemistry. You know,
Yeah, I agree.
Yota and Hikawa, they have chemistry. I would get it, you know, if they was to confess to each other, but I don't think Yota sees her in that light, and I don't really think that she sees him in that light. I just think that they are comfortable with each other, you know. So there has to be chemistry built up, even on their front too, in order to get to that point. Like you have to actually start like, you know, hey, like this is different than just friendship, you know, a friendship relationship or whatever. Like you need to give us something like to build towards that. So I really hope that they don't like rush that the romance aspect. And I hope they take their time, even if it doesn't really like get to anything substantial in season one. I'm fine with that because like there's other things going on that we need to address first, you know, before we rush into a relationship. So if you want like an established relationship like really fast, you know, watch Polar Opposites, you know.
Yeah,
But I don't think that's this
Well,
show. So
I
one of
don't
the
think
ways,
so either. And I
ways,
agree with
uh,
Edwin in regards to her and Yoda is like I don't even think that's a focus. I don't even think that's something that's even passing through their mind. I think they're just enjoying being into like I could open up. I could let my guard down around this guy. I
and
think
she
she's
feels
just
safe.
enjoying that. Yeah, she feels safe. And I
yeah.
think it's not even like if they were to get together, I would understand it. But like I said, I don't even think it's a passing thought in their minds right now.
Hmm.
Well, I could see it playing out where like she continues, she keeps her walls up, and he would be okay with that, and he
Hmm.
would be okay with becoming another one of her walls. You know, like
Yeah.
being her safe space. It might
Hmm.
not be romantic, it might not be like, but I could see that like if she stays within, if there's a limited amount of growth that she wants to have happen, I could see her staying, like being with him and staying with him, and you know, like years down the line there might be some resentment toward like that lack of growth, and his seeing that she's like not completely and entirely using him, but using him to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Like you're my safe, you keep me safe from the world, so I don't have to go out there and face it. You know, which
Would you compare it to something like Casamigos and Macchio from Journal with Witch?
a little bit, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, this
Okay.
was it was fun talking about this show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew we needed to, you know, especially since Jack brought
Hmm.
it up. So I don't know if you do you have anything else to talk about, Jack?
No, because I'm about to fall asleep. I'm that
Yeah, I got
tired.
Yeah,
Oh,
we know.
yeah. I figured I'd ask you real quick, you
Mhm.
know, because I know you said you was gonna have to dip soon, so I didn't know if you had any like parting words, you know, or anything you wanted to, you know, say before you had to get out of here or whatever.
Well,
Um,
it's full circle because Edwin was the one that got me to my first con with C2E2, and Jamaal as well. We brought him in with the ASIN, and now it's your turn, Tyler. So, welcome to the club.
yeah.
yeah,
Bye bye, guys.
it's gonna be a fun time. So, we will have a lot of fun up there. So,
All right. Well, good night,
Wait,
guys.
wait, Jack. One quick question.
All right.
One quick question. Because you brought this up during the preview. What are your thoughts of Snowball Earth?
I
yeah,
still
yeah.
only saw the first episode, and I hate it because it's such a odd. It's such a awesome first episode, and it's like I'm still scared for the second episode. I'm like, please don't let me down.
So he's just stuck in limbo. He's like, I don't want to watch the second because I don't want to be let down because the first episode was so good.
Mm,
It
I
is.
like that. Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
I was just curious.
it Jack, a little bit of a spoiler. It doesn't let you down, but it's not what you're expecting.
Okay. All right, maybe I
Yeah,
will.
I think Dan was
yeah,
saying something about that too. So he watched it too
yeah,
or something. So
All right,
It's
yeah.
Jack. I'll say that it is worth the watch. It's
all
worth
right,
the watch.
all right.
even
Yeah.
if you have to drop it after episode 2, it's probably worth at least trying it, Jack.
I don't think he'll drop it. I don't think he'll
I think
drop
I
it.
think to
Oh
be
my
honest,
god. Um,
I think it was the first show I watched too for the new season. The more I think about it,
Mm,
I think so.
okay.
what's the name of the drill show? The kid with the drill.
Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann. It kind of gives me that Gurren Lagann vibe
Okay,
a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Right.
a
Like
little
not.
lighter. It's a little lighter than Girl Lagan, but
Well, it's not as
not good.
bombastic. It's
Yeah,
not as bombastic or as ridiculous as Gurren Lagann gets, but there's that vibe of like like I can do this. You
yeah,
yeah,
know.
the similar
Yeah.
art style too. Yeah,
hmm Well, yeah, that space battle was epic, man. I was like, I'm
yeah.
here for this, and then it's like they blow this shit out of everybody. I'm like, oh man, I wanted that. Yep.
It's
I
called
I do love me.
Snowball Earth, Edwin, not
Yeah, I
Snowball
know.
Space.
I know. I do love me some space battles though.
Yeah, yes, you
Yep.
do.
Yep.
all right, guys. Yeah, good
All right.
night.
All
Jack,
right,
All
thanks
right.
for
Good
Jack.
night,
coming
George.
on. We will continue talking in your honor.
All right, well, good night.
Yeah.
Uh, good night, bro. So, does anyone else have another show that they'd like to talk about before we close the episode out for tonight?
Well, Witch Hat Atelier, I think is one of my that's one of my must watch shows. I'm
Yeah,
really enjoying that one.
which I
Um,
agree with that too.
I,
You know,
yeah,
I think I want to say like, hopefully everyone's watching this one. You know,
I
hopefully.
agree.
If
we
you're
should have
Yeah.
not,
got
then
we should have got
you
Jack's
should
opinion.
be,
We should
huh?
have got Jack's opinion on it because this was his banger bus show.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Yeah,
I don't think
I
he's
think
right.
his was it
Yeah.
was because he was worried about like the production and stuff, but I feel
he
like the
was worried
production
about
was
the hype.
great.
He was worried about the hype.
Yeah, and
He
like
was
if they
worried
could carry out like the source or whatever, adapt the source or
yeah,
especially being Bug Films and stuff. So I think they
yeah,
do a good job. So I think he's probably happy with it. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
know
yeah.
that I think he was a little I don't think that story-wise it was doing it for him. Essentially is what came across. Um cuz Jack tends to not like overhype shows. He will hype bomb a show. But he doesn't like overhype shows. And I know that he was a little bit critical, but he also tends to compare it to other shows. This is definitely not Release the Witch. This is a lot more magical and whimsical than that show. It's not as it doesn't have that grounding. It's got its own world that's really well developed and really good. But as far as like dramatically, it's a little less. How do I put this? I don't want to say that it's immature, but I think this is definitely for a different audience than that show. Because the focus on this is more about the younger witches and how they're interacting with each other than it is about like any kind of political intrigue or assassinations or stuff. Um, but I'm loving it. I'm loving the animation. I'm loving the whimsical art style. I think they nailed the production. I really think that they nailed the production because this show looks beautiful.
especially the last episode. I don't know if y'all watched the last episode, but that shit was insane.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, this is my favorite. This is probably my favorite fantasy show since The Silent Witch, which I
okay,
know we both love. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
hmm
So I'm not. I don't guess I'm as high on it as like I see most people. I mean, I still
Thank
hmm
have it like.
thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that because I
I mean,
like it,
I do really
but
like it.
I'm not as high on it as people are hyping it up to be. But again, I'm not like a huge magic fantasy guy, I guess is the way to put it.
Mm.
Like, I'm not a Harry Potter guy, so like the high fantasy epic fantasy tale thing, that's not really my forte. And I can
Yeah.
see that this is setting up to be that. This is setting up to have a big grand story, but it's just not. It's very 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 good, but I'm not as connected to it as most others.
I
I
feel
would
like
say.
Yeah, I'm a Harry Potter super fan, so this show hits for me like really, really hard because I'm like, it's kind of like it has that same kind of vibe. Like when I see the professor, I'm like, that's just a grown up Harry Potter for me in my imagination. I'm like, Harry Potter grew up and now he's teaching kids magic in a cottage. I'm like, that works for me so hard because it's like, yeah. So yeah, like this is a show for me. So yeah, yeah. I know for a lot of other people, it's kind of like it's not there. But for me, yeah, it'll definitely be in my top 10.
yeah. So like I don't have any I guess real issues with the show. I just I'm just not connecting with the world uh
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh as much just yet. I think I need I think that I'm going to be. It's just as of right now I'm not I don't have it figured out yet. You know what I mean? I feel like the world is much bigger than um a lot bigger than what I know it is. It's a lot bigger than what's shown right now or whatever. But I just don't understand, and what's going on and stuff like who people are, and that's the stuff that's probably gonna get answered later. Especially like with the brimmed hats and like the whole like the secret magical society and all that stuff. Like it's it's definitely an interesting story. I'm just not sold on the world just yet. And like I like what they've done so far. I like the production behind it. Like I think that it's really good. I like all that stuff, but some things just don't really make sense right now. And I don't think it's the show's fault. I just think we just haven't seen enough yet. Um, so like as of right now, like I got it like an 8. I think it could be a 9. I don't think it can be a 10. I could be wrong. Like especially like last episode. Last episode was insane. But like I just need to see more. I guess is the best way to put it, to figure out where I'm standing at the end of the day on this show. Like, I want to really really like it. I want it to be one of my favorite like fantasy shows of like, the last few years, but it ain't there yet for me. So, but it can be. I have no doubt that it might be, but it just ain't there yet. So, I like Coco though. Coco's a fun character. I'm not really sold on the other girls just yet. I kind of like Kiefer, but he's a little weird, I guess is the best way to
Aloof.
say it. So, I'm not really sold 100% on him. I like him, but I'm not sold on him. I feel like that he needs to be a better teacher in a way, but I feel like he's doing the best he can in a way. But we also don't know a whole lot about him and his past either, which is kind of
Yeah.
hurting a little bit too. So, I don't know. I feel
Well, I
like
think
most of the
with
issues
that,
that I have can be answered with
Hmm.
more episodes. So,
No,
but
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm seeing that it's setting up this epic journey, but to do that, you have to do a lot of world building, and what they're doing now. And it's fun. Like I can see greatness. You know what I mean? Like I see that this is a well thought out story. I see that you have a well thought out magic system. You're thinking about this world. You're setting it up. It's very well animated. I think the voice acting's fine. Like I see where I can see that it's a great show in terms of like cinematic quality. It's just I just haven't connected with it yet. But it's like you said, I got it like a 7.5 for me right now.
It has
It
potential
could get
though. It
better.
has a lot of potential.
But that's why I preface it like this isn't I could be like it's not typically something that I watch or enjoy. So that's why I preface it with that, though I can still see the quality. But I I'm glad that there's people like Edwin out there that's like, yeah, this right up the alley for me. This is what I want.
This is it. 10,
Yeah.
easy.
But it's not he's
Look,
not
you
the
guys
only
are
one.
just you guys are just haters, and you're hating on the show. And it's like, I get it. I get it. It's not appreciated, but I get it. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But no, I
You know
get it.
what?
I mean, hmm
I've seen like because when I listened to our preview and Jack was talking about this. He mentioned I wrote this down in my notes. Oh, he mentioned that it feels like it has like a freeing like explosion to it, and
okay.
I've already been seeing people talking about the new modern big three of fantasy anime:
Oh yeah, I
Korean
saw that. I was
Magician
like,
Dungeon and
yeah,
Witch Hat, and like
yeah,
this is the hype that this is the exact hype that Jack was talking about.
yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
like
that's just. I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm not um, like me and Tyler, like Secrets of the Silent Witch. And I thought that was like I thought that was an awesome show, but I don't think it got the love that it deserved.
Oh no,
This
yeah,
one,
no.
yeah, this one, I think it's because of the visuals. And I think we've talked about this before, like with Solo Leveling. Sometimes a show just catches on, not for the reasons that you would like it to catch on, or the reasons that it should catch on, but it becomes like one of those super hype shows and super popular shows because it just looks amazing. It absolutely looks amazing, and and then it scratches that itch that people have for that kind of show. And whether it merits it or not, it gets that popularity. Um, like I enjoyed Solo Leveling a lot. I mean, it's just it's a pure battle junkie show that's really
Mhm.
dressed up. It's really pretty. It's a really pretty battle junkie show, and this is a really pretty like fantasy show. And I think for that reason alone, it's gaining in popularity, and like it will have a lot of hype. I think there's more to it than just that. And that's why I'm going. That's why if it was just that, I don't think that I'd keep up with it. But at the same time, it's like it would be kind of a crime not to watch a show that's so pretty. It's like with last season's Sentenced to Be a Hero. Um, like that show had some of its failings, but you can't deny that it was an incredibly good looking show.
mhm,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I I I think that Witch Hat can be uh mentioned in the same, breath as like Frieren and Dungeon Meshi. I think
hmm
that it has the potential to be that, be there, and I think it will get there.
Yeah,
I think it's, you know, unless you've read the manga or whatever, I feel like it's a bit early to be throwing it in there though. But I can see that it probably will be there. You know what I mean? Unless
I
something
agree.
like
Tyler, that
crazy
was a
happens. So
yeah, that was a point I was just gonna make that
yeah.
because the because that's essentially the esteem that they hold the manga in.
Yeah.
As far as fantasy, yeah, as far as fantasy
Like
mangas,
if
it's held in pretty high esteem.
basically if it doesn't get there, then they failed the adaptation. Is what I'm basically trying to say. Like it should get there. If it doesn't get there, then the adaptation failed.
Yeah,
Because it should get
yeah,
there,
mhm. Their
but it
place
shouldn't
in
be there
history
right
is theirs to
now.
lose.
It should be there right
Yeah,
now, but it will get there unless they fail the show. So,
yeah,
um,
yeah. Their place in
but
history is theirs to lose.
yeah, pretty much
Yeah,
like it's theirs to lose, and like sure I have I wouldn't even call it issues, like, the things that I said about it, like I said, I still have it like an 8 or a 9 right now, like, I really like this show. It's just like, normally, I would have shows like this at a 10 already, and it would probably be, like, number 1 show of the season or whatever, right? And I just don't have it there yet because of the reasons I talked about, I need a little bit more time. I need the world to be a little bit more fleshed out. I need to know a little bit more about the lore, like the Brimmed had. So Key the secret magical society. I need to know more about all this stuff before I can fully get a grasp of what this anime is trying to tell me, show me, and stuff. So, but
I think also too, there's a lot going on this season,
mm-hmm,
and like I remember watching some. I watched a few different YouTubers. I usually watch Glass Reflection or Mother's Basement.
mm-hmm,
And one of them said like if this show had been in a different season, like and it wasn't about Witch Hat Atelier. It was about a different show. I can't remember which one, but he said if this show had been in a different season, he might have ranked it higher. But because of the way the season is so stacked, it's hard to. I agree because there's so much going on this season that
it
like
is,
some
yeah,
shows are just not going to get. They're not going to get the attention that they should. I'm glad this show is getting the attention that it should. I feel, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are going to be like, like, well, I've got Ascendance of a Bookworm to watch this season, so I don't have room for Witch Hat for something new. And there, that's fine because I love that show too. But like I think that kind of like that does have an effect on like, okay, like you know, can this show take its time when it's got so much competition? You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. I have faith in it. Especially with like the production that we've seen so far. Which was one of my worry points as well. Like Bug Films, will it be like another Zom 100 disaster? Can't even get through the whole season. I have faith in it now. I think that them taking their time, working on it prior and stuff like that, getting it done ahead of time and stuff. I think that helps a lot. So only thing left now is just to see where it goes. See if it actually the story and stuff is as good as like what we've heard. From like the manga
yeah,
readers and stuff. Which I hope so. I hope it is because like then it'll be like an easy talk about when we do the review. So, but
yeah.
y'all have anything
Is
else
this one of those?
to add?
Is this one of those two core shows?
No,
Because I
I
know
think
quite
it's
a
just
few
one.
shows.
Oh,
I think it's
oh,
just
One,
one.
okay,
I think this only
just one.
getting
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I know
Um,
there's a lot of shows this season that are getting two cores.
yeah.
I can't
I
remember
mean,
which ones, but yeah.
Mao,
Shadow,
Akane, Banashi,
yeah,
um,
Shadows. I think is getting two
yeah,
cores.
Shadows. That's
That's the one.
that's
That's the one. Okay,
three.
that's the one.
Demons of the Shadow Realm. So that's
Yeah,
three that are getting it.
Two cores. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like there's another one too.
yeah, I think there's actually like
But
like a couple
those are the
more,
big
but
three. Those are the big three.
yeah.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to talk about with chat before we wrap this episode up?
No, I'm good.
Alrighty. Well, that is gonna be it for this episode. We talked about I know we left quite a bit of shows out, and we didn't do any sequels, but we really wanted to focus on like show shows that we felt like people should watch that may not be as popular, excluding Witch Hat, obviously, because Witch Hat's probably like the number one
Yeah.
most popular new show this season besides Damon's. So, but we had to talk about it. So, I might actually if I have enough time, I might actually do like a part two, like a .5 episode, and throw it out there in the next couple of days as well. Just like me talking about like the best of the rest type of shit. You know what I mean? Like that I didn't get to go over today or whatever. Because I know that we missed. I'm watching like a lot, and we didn't talk about all of them, because we'd be here for a long time if we tried to,
Oh yeah.
Um, so we're gonna end it there. Be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try my best. I'll try my best to get it up there, like a part two for this, just to finish out the rest of them or whatever. But yeah, uh, make sure you go follow Jamaal, Edwin, and Jack on the social medias that they're on. It'll be in the description. They post videos on YouTube, and they also have it on Spotify, Apple, and all that stuff now. Make sure y'all go check them out. Like I said, that stuff will be in the description too. They talk about wrestling. They talk about anime. I'm on there talking about reviews and stuff like that. Like whatever you want to listen to, that they probably talk about it. So you just have to go find it. Don't be shy. Go say hi. So. But with that being said, we will talk to you next time. Peace.